So I'll try to go through the steps we have developed in our story. First of all, I'd like to say that the message we would like to give this risk manager is that we understand that world-class risk management is key for a bank, and that also sorry, that I just lost my mind here. Yeah, it's a key for the bank, and that we can help him with that message, and help him bring it into the company, into the bank, to the CEO level, because you need to fight, as mentioned, against the business, and also to get the CEO to understand. So, but we can help him, and that's what we'll try to tell with the story here. So first thing is actually why. So setting the scene, why are we doing this? There should be a compelling event that really something could trigger that this is important to take the action, to do something. We talked something about the vision, and the vision was exactly we have world-class risk management, and then what would be the focus in order to obtain being a world-class risk management position. And then how can we also help them? Not going into SAP at all, but just in more general terms. How can we see the way through for them? And then, and finally, the aspirations. How can that help the banks? Put some KPIs into it. Both we have some very key indicators that are measurable, but also to put some ideas in his head, with more implicit ideas about why we could get an award as being the best global risk manager in the world. That would be something that would trigger a risk manager. But back to setting the scene, why could this be interesting for the bank? And what we've focused on is here liquidity management in a bank. In a situation that we have had a financial crisis since 2008, with a crash in the American banks, Lehman Brothers and so on, liquidity management has been really, really key. Because if you not get the funding to your bank, it will be extremely costly. And at the end you can risk that you cannot survive as a bank. So the liquidity management is very important. So that is the key. But what is then the compelling event to make this really something that the bank would fear? That could be an example like we have had back in time. And in this story here, I would use some personal experiences in order to get the story across the table. So what I would tell about here is that I remember a situation back in the 90s where we had very hard pressure on the Danish krone. A lot of speculants around the world were speculating in the Danish krone, and they could gain a lot of money on that. That situation could come again. If the market suddenly thinks that Denmark is not as a stable economy as it has been perceived, then speculators could easily push to the Danish kroner, value of the Danish kroner, because it's a small economy and you can earn a lot of money from it. And what happened back in the 90s was actually speculators speculated against the Danish kroner. The interbank market interest rates, the daily rates where you trade between banks and to the largest customers, they went up actually to 100%, 200%, 400% in a few days. And here it really becomes critical to be able to manage liquidity positions in the bank. The banks that is the best at doing that is also the winner of the game. They can even earn money in that situation. So that is the compelling event that should bring you to see, okay, if you really want to be the world best risk manager, what should you then do in order to obtain it? Yeah, imagine if you had real-time data, liquidity positions, strong analytical tool to be on top of the situation every minute in the bank, in every business unit, and also you as a risk manager on top of controlling everything. Imagine that. And then we have talked about, well, again, that we should use experiences to relate it to something, that this is feasible. So the idea was, okay, we can look into another industry and then say, okay, we have actually oil and gas industry that will also, when they do seismic simulations, then they have enormous amount of data. See, okay, we have been able to build a strong analytical tool in that industry. We can actually transfer this experience over to your industry. That is the idea. And then again, the idea is that you relate something, building trust. And again, at the end, we talk about the KPIs, but again, for relating it to something, we say, okay, we also have a KPI that we can do this, build up this new database with these strong analytical tools in 1 year. We actually experienced that back in the oil and gas industry. We can do that for you as well. So that would be the story we would try to tell, relating it to the own experiences, industry experiences, and get ideas from one industry to bring to another.